Hey everybody, it's me, John Ward, and I am back with another Dark Park Film Reviews. And today, this video is going to be about Tony Scott. I am a huge Tony Scott fan, and I have collected all of his films over the years, and I've wanted to do this video for a while. I do believe, and I think many other people do too, that he is the grandfather of chaos cinema. And without him, um, you wouldn't have, or I wouldn't have, Michael Bay. And you guys know what a big Michael Bay fan I am. I wanted to bring this video out first. I have talked about my final Michael Bay video that is coming up soon. And I wanted to have this video come out before that one and just look at my collection of Tony Scott films. Tony Scott, of course, is the brother of Ridley Scott. And sadly, in 2012, Tony Scott took his own life. He jumped off of a bridge. It came out later from his brother, Ridley Scott, that he was battling cancer. And it's depressing to watch interviews with him that take place so close to him taking his own life, especially when there is like a little date right down below that says like 2011, and you're like, oh, this is only a year before his death. So recently I've been rewatching a lot of his films. I haven't rewatched all of his movies, but I do own them all, and I just kind of just wanted to take a look at them and pay tribute to him. I have my black shirt on, and he is Tony Scott is known for wearing his cap, and so I have mine on. And let's just take a look at the films here, and maybe some of these films will make you go, oh yeah, I forgot that he made that. Let me go back and take a look. So these are in order, and the first one here is The Hunger, and this is David Bowie, and this unfortunately does not have a lot of great special features on it. It does have audio commentary by Tony Scott and Susan Sarandon, which is pretty cool. So I like that. And when this originally came out, it was kind of destroyed by the critics. And even though this has Tony Scott all over it, what got him the job of directing the next film was not this film, but it was actually a Saab commercial. And before getting into feature films, he was doing commercials and music videos. And the film that he did after this, and thanks to that Saab commercial, is Top Gun. So, and of course, this has my favorite actor, my guy Tom Cruise in it. Um, Not too long from now, I'll be releasing several videos on my Tom Cruise collection. But this is actually a steelbook of Top Gun. This is the 13th anniversary of it, and I still think it holds up. Of course, Top Gun Maverick, and we'll take this back piece off here. And it's got the DVD, the Blu-ray, then it's got the digital. This is good because it does have a really good documentary on the making of Top Gun. So I recommend watching this. It's Yeah, there's also audio commentary by Jerry Bruckheimer, Tony Scott, the writers, Danger Zone, the making of Top Gun. So it's got some good stuff on it. Tom Cruise interviews, music videos, stuff like that. So after Top Gun, which of course was a huge success, um, he did. This is also for Paramount. Uh, Beverly Hills Cop 2, which is very different looking, and it's a very different film from the first Beverly Hills Cop. Um, and I own it in this. So this is the Beverly Hills Cop 3 movie collection. And I love the first one, love the second one, hate the third one. It's directed by John Landis, which is fine. I like John Landis. One of my favorite films is Into the Night, and just Beverly Hills Cop 3 is just awful. Beverly Hills Cop 2 is very much a Tony Scott film. You could just tell from the directing, the editing, especially the lighting. Um, and it's interesting to watch it back to back with the original film. So, and of course, they're coming out with a fourth Beverly Hills Cop film, which I think is just called Axel Foley, or maybe Axel Foley Beverly Hills Cop 4. I'm not sure. And they're making a third Top Gun movie too. And they made a TV series out of The Hunger, which Tony Scott directed 2 episodes of. Then what came after Beverly Hills Cop 2 is Kevin Costner in Revenge. Some of these I thought of picking up on Blu-ray, but they're either special editions or they're unrated director's cuts, which I couldn't find on Blu-ray. So I picked up the DVDs instead. Um, Here we got a quote from Tarantino, who of course wrote True Romance, and it says, "I consider Revenge to be Tony Scott's masterpiece." This one also has commentary with Tony Scott. And then after this, once again back to Paramount, and then working with Tom Cruise again, we have Days of Days of Thunder, or as my friends and I used to call it, Cruise Like Thunder. A lot of people have said this is basically just Top Gun on wheels. This is part of the Paramount Presents collection. So it's got this nice cover on it. It says 1990. And then you can open it, and it has the poster inside. A lot of this stuff you're going to be seeing again in other video collections. And then we take it out of its sleeve. It's got its nice clear box on it. And this does have filmmaker focus, producer Jerry Bruckheimer on Days of Thunder. It also has an isolated score. This is one of the films that was written by Robert Towne, who worked with Tom Cruise also on Mission Impossible, and then Cruise went on to help Robert Towne produce some of his own movies, which are actually sitting right up here. So there's, yeah, right in here. This is a really cool disc. I like this one. I like how they put it together. So then after Days of Thunder, Tony Scott did The Last Boy Scout. and this is for Warner Brothers. It is one of my all-time favorite action movies. I've seen this many times, and when I was, I want to say 30s, maybe. Um, I used to take the VHS of this because I own the VHS, and I would, when I would go get a haircut, I would say, "Make my hair like this." And so for a while, I would always have the stubble or a beard, and have the hair of Bruce Willis's character from this. I even slightly dressed like him too. I tried to find the same type of clothes because I thought the character looked really cool. And this is visually is great. Is a really beautifully shot movie. I really like this film a lot. Special features are soundtrack remastered in Dolby 5.1. So sadly, we don't really get anything great on this. It is written by Shane Black. It's got Damon Wayans in it, who is, I think, is pretty funny in this. Danielle Harris, very young Danielle Harris, is in this too. So then after Last Boy Scout, now we get into Tarantino area, and that is with True Lies. Excuse me. This is a 2-disc special edition, unrated director's cut. And this is also Warner Brothers, and it's got its sleeve here. So we got the front again, and then the back. And then you open it up. There we go. And so disc 1 is the movie, and then disc 2 are all the special features. There we go. And it says here that disc 1, True Romance Director's Cut, features 3 feature-length audio commentaries. You get Christian Slater and Patricia Arquette. You also get a separate one with Tony Scott and a separate one with Quentin Tarantino. So that's pretty cool. Try to these things back in here. And yeah, the back here shows a lot more stuff on it. Disc 1's got the audio commentaries, and then disc 2 has stuff like deleted and extended scenes with optional audio commentary, alternate ending, selective commentaries with Dennis Hopper, Val Kilmer, Brad Pitt, Michael Rappaport, behind the scenes. I mean, it's got a ton of stuff on this. And of course, it's the original script was written by Quentin Tarantino. So here we got to get that back in there correctly. There we go. Is that right? Yeah. So then after this, he did Crimson Tide. This is another one of those that I was going to buy it on Blu-ray, but this is the unrated extended edition. So I picked this one up instead. We got Denzel Washington and Gene Hackman. I don't think he's worked with. No, he's worked with Tom Cruise twice, and it looks like this is the first one with Denzel. One of these. There we go. What's on its card here? Stuff on the back there. And this does have deleted scenes, behind the scenes, like the making of, but no audio commentary. A lot of these are Don Simpson and Jerry Bruckheimer or Jerry Bruckheimer. Don Simpson died from basically, allegedly, from what I understand, is just excessive partying, drinking, drugs, cocaine, stuff like that. So then after Crimson Tide, he went to go do The Fan. And this is with Robert De Niro and Wesley Snipes. So this is an obsession film, baseball. And what's cool about this is that this is the Blu-ray, so you get basically like what was the poster, but it's got this VHS tape down here. Who does this? This is Mill Creek Entertainment. So they did a few of these with the VHS tape here, which is pretty cool. I've collected a couple of these like this, and they're fun to own. So on this, I don't think, because it's Mill Creek. Um, yeah, I don't think this has any. Yeah, I don't think this has any special features, unfortunately. But this was one that I could have picked up as a DVD, but I chose to spend a few extra bucks and pick it up with this cover. So it's a fun film. It's not Tony Scott's best because we have seen this before, especially with De Niro, with stuff like Taxi Driver and King of Comedy, and then of course, he's kind of parroting those roles in Joker, but he's once again the obsessed fan, and like I said, this time it's baseball. So then after this comes, and this is another one, could have picked it up on Blu-ray, but it's Enemy of the State special edition, and it's Will Smith and Gene Hackman. So because it's special edition, I picked it up on DVD. Some have said that this is a sequel, kind of an unofficial sequel to The Conversation, Francis Ford Coppola's movie. Kind of like how Sean Connery in The Rock, Michael Bay's film, is an unofficial, like, final James Bond movie. They just can't say it, because of copyright issues. So, but this one is fun, because it's all about conspiracy theories and the deep state and all that type of stuff. I like how this is all kind of glossy. And then it's got, let's see, what has it got here? So it's got its little chapter thing here. So let's see, got Crimson Tide, got Con Air, that's Simon West, got that version of it, and then Gone in 60 Seconds. I got this version. I forget who directs this one, but man, did I think, and this is the extended on director's cut. Man, did I think this was boring, unfortunately. And then here's Coyote Ugly, the extended edition, which I do not have. I've seen the film a long time ago, but, and this actually looks like I mean, this is for the Blu-ray. I bought these all used at Zia Records, and or most of them at least, and I think this is the front of the Blu-ray. It would be on the box. So somebody stuck it in there, and then there's the back of the Blu-ray. Okay, I didn't realize that before. So they just um I'm pretty sure this is for, yeah, Blu-ray right there. So let's see, what are there any differences in the special features here? So making of enemy state, all access the showdown, all access the showdown, theatrical trailer. Oh, but the DVD has deleted scenes. Oh, this has deleted scenes. It's just on it. They're just in a different order. Okay, and that's weird that they would. I'm just gonna keep it in here. Why not? So somewhere out there, a Blu-ray of Enemy of the State doesn't have its proper cover and stuff, I guess. And then after Enemy of the State, he did Spy Game, once again collector's edition. So I picked it up on DVD, and this is Redford and Brad Pitt. And this is one of those movies where Brad Pitt looks like Robert Redford, which is probably why he got cast in what is it? A River Runs Through It. He was also in Sneakers, I think, as young Robert Redford, because at one point they did kind of look alike. It comes with this little booklet here. Oh, there's Tony Scott right there. Then we got the scenes. So, and yeah, this has over 10 hours of DVD entertainment, alternate versions, deleted scenes, script to storyboard, um, commentary with Tony Scott, commentary with the producers. So it's got some good stuff on it. So when he got done with Spy Game, there so a car company came out with these videos and they were all collected into one DVD. It's a bunch of different directors. You're going to see this DVD pop up on in other videos because there's a few directors on here that I'm going to be making videos of. And this was for BMW. And so it's BMW Films and it's called The Hire. And Clive Owen is the star of it. And he basically, it's kind of like the transporter in a way. Um, because he is hired by somebody to drive them around. And it's a series of 8 short films. And Tony Scott did a film called Beat the Devil. All of these are pretty cool. And like I'll name a few of the directors because, like I said, these are going to be showing up in other videos down the road. But we got like John Woo, uh, Joe Carnahan, John Frankenheimer, Ang Lee, Guy Ritchie, and I really enjoyed these. And I bought this when it originally came out. This is an old DVD. Does have a date? So I bought this back in 2003 from the BMW website. Never got rid of this. Never. I had no idea even if you could buy it down the road because of what it was. So I always kept a hold of it. And it's got some really good stuff. But Tony Scott did Beat the Devil on this one. So after this, he then did what I think is by far one of his best films, and that is the reteaming with Denzel Washington, and that would be Man on Fire. Once again, another one that I could have purchased on Blu-ray, but this is an all access collector's edition. This is a great film, and if you haven't seen it, you should. It's got 2 discs. And so it says here, behind the scenes, behind the movie, all access. Now you can experience the red hot intensity of Tony Scott's fiery action thriller as never before, with unprecedented access into the production process of Man on Fire, packed with hours of behind the scenes extras. This all new 2 disc collector's edition ignites a whole new level of DVD excitement. So, 2 disc collector's edition DVD special edition. Disc one is full length audio commentary with Tony Scott. Then you also get full length audio commentary with Dakota Fanning, um, the producer and the writer. Disc two is Vengeance is Mine, and that's a documentary, never before seen alternate ending with optional audio commentary with Tony Scott. 14 deleted scenes with optional audio commentary by Tony Scott. Uh, Multi angle scene study, photo gallery, trailers, music video. I mean, this has got a ton of stuff on it, which is why I picked it up like this. So, I was recently watching something that reminded me of this, and that's the Guy Ritchie film Wrath of Man with Jason Statham, and which I absolutely loved. The It does not remind me of other Guy Ritchie films. It's very reminded me very much of this. It's very dark, very brooding. It's got a great soundtrack that I found online, and I want to watch it again. I mean, that's how good it is. I really wanted to watch it again. So, Man on Fire. So after Man on Fire, Tony Scott did what some people think is probably one of his worst movies. I think it's one of his best films, and I love this movie. And it's Domino. I really like this film. I think Keira Knightley is absolutely amazing looking in this. She just kicks ass. It's got a good cast. It is kind of like Tony Scott on crack as far as the directing goes, the editing goes, the lighting goes. I mean, this is Tony Scott to the extreme, but I loved it. I've seen this a few times. I think it's hilarious that this is based on a true story. And Sadly, after the film was made, the Domino Harvey, who is a bounty hunter, committed suicide. She killed herself. And but I cannot imagine this movie even being 5 minutes of her real life. It just this seemed so made up, to the point of them being in Las Vegas at the end of the movie, and the stratosphere explodes. There's a huge gun battle in it, and it tumbles over into Las Vegas Boulevard and right onto the strip. And I live in Las Vegas, and I live like right by the stratosphere. I'm like, I could look at it out my window, and that never happened. So it's great for a movie, but it did not happen in real life. So as long as you take this with a grain of salt, maybe the entire thing, it's a really good movie, and I think it's one of Tony Scott's best films. As far as something being very serious and dramatic, Man on Fire, but as far as just a very, I mean, I'm surprised Tarantino didn't direct this or even write it. Or, I mean, it's so, yeah, it's such a crazy movie. I really loved it. And so there's its digital copy. It's so, this stuff always, I always thought this was lame. And then you get it here, and then there's the movie there. When I go to Zia Records, it will say, like Blu-ray disc, digital copy and then like digital whatever the paper thing is called, and they charge you more, like $2 or $3 more for for this, for that, and it's just like don't even want it, but oh well. Um, so what you get on this audio commentary, Richard Kelly wrote this. So Richard Kelly wrote this. So you get audio commentary with director Tony Scott and writer Richard Kelly, alternate audio track, script notes, um, development meetings with like cast and crew, featurettes, deleted scenes, theatrical trailers. Yeah, you should definitely check this out. I mean, it's rated R for strong violence, persuasive language, sexual content, nudity, and drug use. So I love this movie. So, and then after Domino, he teamed up again with Denzel Washington for another film that I think is awesome. I love this. I'm a big science fiction fan. These days, I'm going more of that kind of chaos cinema of people like Tony Scott and Michael Bay and some there's other directors that fall into that category too, but I'm really enjoying that stuff. But I'm also love science fiction, and I'm getting more and more into science fiction than I am horror, because I think you could do more with it and it's more interesting. So this is Deja Vu, and he teamed up again with Jerry Bruckheimer, and it's I love that cover. Look at that. That cover is so cool. And it said, "What would you do if you could change the past?" There's a sticker here. New, the surveillance window bonus experience. Unlock the secrets of deja vu before they happen in the film. And this you should definitely check out. I highly recommend it. Especially if it's like a science fiction film that takes place kind of present day, but it's got a bunch of like futuristic things in it. Oh, I just bought that Apocalypto. I just bought all of Mel Gibson's directing job movies. So on here, okay, they're on there too. So we'll go. This is another one that I could have bought on Blu-ray, but I bought it just for the cover. Um, so some of its bonus features are surveillance window, go in time and experience behind the scenes moments with the filmmakers, deleted scenes. Doesn't say if there's audio commentary. This is from the producer of Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest, and the director of Enemy of the State. So, but it's that moments with the behind the scenes moments with the filmmakers would be like the fiery explosion, stunts fiery, filming in New Orleans, split time car chase, and lots more. It's a it's like a time movie. It's not time travel, but it deals with time. And so there's a device that Denzel Washington's character can wear that can see the future, and he falls in love with her and tries to save her. So it's a cool movie. I enjoyed it. It's fun. And then after that, he did a remake. The original of this is great. Walter Matthau is in it. Uh, Surprisingly, it's directed by uh, Joseph Sargent, who also did Jaws: The Revenge, which I think is hilarious that he directed one of the great 70s movies and one of the worst Jaws movies. But it's The Taking of Pelham 123. And the original movie, it's actually spelled out 123 instead of just the numbers. Once again, with Denzel Washington, this time he's with John Travolta. This is not as good as the original. The original is a classic. It's got a great ending, but it's still good. I enjoyed it, but it's not. Um, it's just not as good. So, but it's worth watching. I enjoyed it, and I'm glad I have it in my collection. This one I have it on DVD because I think I couldn't find the Blu-ray. So, uh, and this has, let's see, No Time to Lose, The Making and Taking Pelham 123, Third Rail, New York Underground, commentary with director Tony Scott, commentary with the director and the producer, and the marketing of Pelham 123. So yeah, this is fun. It was all right. Wasn't great, but it was fun. And then sadly, the last movie that Tony Scott made, which was 2010, um, is another film with Denzel Washington, and this time it also has Chris Pine, and that is Unstoppable, about the train, the runaway train. It does say inspired by true events, which means probably about 5 minutes of the movie is really true. But it's a fun film. It's a good movie, well directed, well edited. The train is definitely a character in the movie, which is pretty cool. I'm glad that if we had to have a final film from Tony Scott, that this was it. I'm glad that he didn't make a film that just wasn't good. Um, so this is a good film to end on, basically. You know, um, and what you get on this is you do get audio commentary, which is nice, and then fast track, unleashing, unstoppable. So you get two special features on there. And lastly, the same year, so this was 2010, he produced um a Joe Carnahan film, and who also worked on that The Hire. And Joe Carnahan is I really like the guy. I would probably put him in my top 10 for one of my favorite film directors. He did the film Blood, Guts, Bullets, and Octane, which he shot at a car dealership that he was working at in, I believe, Sacramento, California. And I only lived about an hour away from that. I used to go up to Sacramento to visit friends and stuff, and my family lived in Sonoma, so I was pretty close to where he was. So I dig that he, was very close to where I lived. And um, Tony Scott produced the A-Team, the remake of the A-Team, which has, of course, one of my favorite guys, Bradley Cooper, Liam Neeson, of course. Love Liam Neeson. I collect a lot of his movies. I just picked up A Star Is Born, and I really enjoyed this. I thought it was a really good remake of a TV series, and this is the unrated extended cut. It includes two versions, unrated and theatrical. So I thought I really enjoyed this movie. And Joe Carnahan and Liam Neeson will work they'll work together again in The Gray, that movie about the wolves, plane crash with the wolves. This is another one of those things with the digital copy disc. Yeah, Blu-ray with digital copy. And this has on it theatrical version, extended version, The Devil's in the Details, Inside the Action with Joe Carnahan. So that's the theatrical version only. Character Chronicles, Plan of Attack featurette, deleted scenes. So I'm not sure if that Devil's in the Details one is audio commentary. It doesn't say audio commentary, but maybe it is. Yeah, it doesn't say. But this is a good movie too. So, okay, that's everything. So let's do a quick recap. So, A-Team, which he was one of the producers on, and then Unstoppable, sadly his last movie. Taking a Pelham 1, 2, 3. Deja Vu. Domino. Man on Fire. The Hire. Beat the Devil. You might be able to find these on YouTube, probably separately. Spy Game. Enemy of the State. The Fan. Crimson Tide. True Romance. The Last Boy Scout. Cruise Like Thunder. Revenge. Beverly Hills Cop 2. Top Gun. And his first feature film, The Hunger. All right. There we go. And for those who are interested, kind of a Tony Scott versus Ridley Scott type of thing, I do like Tony Scott better. I like his films better than Ridley Scott's. I enjoy both their movies or their catalog for different reasons. Of course, Tony Scott has, Alien, but I just prefer the way that Tony Scott directs, the way that the camera moves, the way that the lighting is, the editing, the music. Come on, the Top Gun soundtrack. Come on. All of that I prefer over Ridley. And I do feel sorry for Ridley and his family with what happened with Tony. But as a director goes, I would probably, if I had two stacks, I would watch more of the Tony Scott films than the Ridley Scott films, even though Ridley Scott has made some really good movies. I just tend to, I guess, veer in that direction because that's where my movies are. So that's my collection of Tony Scott. So thanks a lot. I appreciate everybody watching. Let me know down below in the comments. Do you prefer Ridley to Tony? What are some of your favorite Tony Scott films, or even Ridley Scott films? Of course, Ridley also has Blade Runner, so he's got great movies himself too. And I guess that's it. So thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it, and I'm going to try to get out one more video this week, and then hopefully next week will be the Michael Bay, the final Michael Bay video. So, all right, everybody, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Be safe, be kind, and I will see you on the next one. Okay.